Hi everybody, I'm Chris Watson and welcome to this edition of the NYSPHSAA Captains Club presented by the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association. Today we're at Cooperstown Jr. Senior High School in Section 3 to introduce you to Julietta Ford, who's getting ready for what's next in her athletic and academic career while also blazing her own trail here at Cooperstown. Julie Ford comes from a family of athletes. Her dad was a college basketball star. Her older brother and sister all played at Cooperstown High School before her, and athletics have always been a part of Julie's life as far back as she can remember.
All my siblings play. We played kickball in the backyard for years. My brother and my sister and my younger sister, and the teams were always pretty, this was the team and that's how competitive we got.
Well, it's kind of like the only way we hang out. We don't hang out with school. The only time after school is sports, so we're always traveling for Julie's basketball. It's like our vacations are her basketball, so it's always, we would have team games where it's usually like my brother and I and Julie and my other sister, and my mom doesn't really play sports, so my dad's like the ref in the family. It's kind of like family hanging out time.
For Julie, the athleticism came naturally, and it was easy to see at a young age, especially on the basketball court.
Well, I think the first part is natural. I mean, she's a heck of an athlete. She stood out as a 5th and 6th grader, not just that she was tall, but that she was doing very skillful, very naturally athletic things right out of the gate.
As time went on, Julie became a full-time basketball junkie. Other sports still a part of her life, but she had her sights set on playing basketball at the next level. And those closest to her noticed all the hard work that went into that dream.
I don't think a lot of people understand how hard that actually is. I mean, the commitment, the waking up in the morning, going to the gym, the countless hours of basketball, the traveling, it's a lot. And I mean, it takes a certain someone to do it. And if I could say anyone, I would say Julie Ford.
When you have a 6'2" forward in Class C girls basketball, you already have an advantage over most teams, and you use that any way you can.
It makes my job really easy. We don't have to do, we kind of say, Julie catch it, and then Julie go to the basket. I mean, last year, one play stood out last year in the TI game. She had some foul trouble, but in our last game last season, we just thought she's bigger than the bigs and quicker than the guards. Just let's put her over here and let her get out of the way.
She's that talented that you can do that.
Yeah, and especially with this most recent off season, I think even more so. She's such a nice kid that she wasn't super comfortable being the go-to last year. So it took her a little while to get in the groove of being like the man, if you want to say that, or the woman. But you can see her coming out from that shadow and committing to it, and it's some of the stuff she does. Like the whole gym will go in a scrimmage, and the whole gym, other teams, whoa, oh my God, it's beautiful.
Leave it to your little sister to bring you back to reality real quick.
Well, I always like to be mean to her to bring her down a notch, but she's pretty good. We don't have a lot of tall people, so that just kind of pushed her to play in that position.
Now, basketball isn't the only sport Julie is a star for the Hawkeyes at. She is also a state caliber high jumper on the track and field team.
I guess I had the choice. I just felt like more connected with basketball. If I wanted to, I probably could go D1 for track. I just feel I like the idea of a team instead of, I think track is more an individual sport and you get to work on your own skills.
I always make the joke, like someone was like, oh my God, she's so good at track as well. I'm like, yeah, she jumps like her own height and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty incredible. Basketball, I mean, rebound, shoot, score, three-pointers, I mean, whatever you want to say, I mean, she can probably do it.
I think she does get bored with doing one sport. And I think that learning from different coaches is important and different teaching philosophies.
She could have been a Division I student athlete in track and field, but her first love is basketball. So when schools like Hofstra, UAlbany, Vermont, and NJIT came calling, Julie had choices, play there or at a lower level like Division II or Division III, but she chose the place that was right for her.
Yeah, I got offers from a total of 5 schools. And I chose UAlbany because of the distance, because I know so many people in Albany. I played out of there for AAU. I know all these families, and I told them like I was going to Albany, and they all said I will be at every single one of those games. Like I will be there, and I think just that feeling of I'm gonna have like my own section in the crowd. It's awesome. I like it.
It was a perfect fit because we love the coaching staff and we love all the majors. You know, if she could find something, there's a lot of majors at Albany. But also, you know, we loved Hofstra too. And once she announced to Albany, that was totally her decision. We kind of found out, I was listening on the phone while she was telling the Hofstra coach. The people in the community were like, oh great, you know, there's this little restaurant, we'll stop and eat dinner on the way up. They're already planning, you know, trips.
Julie is a 3-sport star in her senior year at Cooperstown, but the third sport might not be what you expect. Julie is a starting wide receiver and cornerback on the Cooperstown varsity 8-man football team.
I told them my biggest regret would be not being able to play football in high school.
Is that how you felt? Like this would be a regret if you didn't do it?
Not a regret, but maybe a wish, I think, because I have the opportunity, and I kind of would think back and be like, I could have done that. Like, no, it would have. I think it would have stunk thinking I could have done something that I didn't do.
Her desire to play football started a long time ago, and she was the only one in support of that move at that time.
5th grade, I filled out my own form to play Pee Wee football. My parents did not sign it.
The strong women in my family try not to ever say no, you know. That was one thing, you know, my son had just had a concussion his senior year. It was pretty traumatic. And that's what about the same time she'd been asking, and we're like, you know, I couldn't do it. And he ended up being fine, but I didn't want to tell her no, you know, I wanted her to succeed. And finally she wore us down enough. They were like, yeah, I'm ready. It was enough away from his concussion that I wanted to do it.
She brings a lot. She brings a lot of heart, a lot of spirit. She's really funny. I've known her personally since I was 6th grade, like a little kid, so we've been friends for a while. And it wasn't really a surprise when she told me she wanted to play football. She's always been like playing two-hand touch when we were little at the homecoming games when we'd watch and everything. So, but she brings she's actually a really good player. She's a really good wide receiver, and she handles the ball really well. And she can take a hit. she knows how to receive a hit, and she can tackle well, so she knows what to do.
And I think people are saying, well, what are you playing football for? And I think it's because she wants to. And we talked about Julie. She's not going to change her mind. This is the way she wants it. I think that's the way it's going to be. So.
And I've seen things roll off her back that some people wouldn't even be able to. Like if someone's trash talking or something like that, it's like she's always so focused, and we'll just keep her eye on the ball and just keep playing. Like, you know, boys can be tough in football as well, and she just works through it, and no matter what, she keeps a positive attitude, and she knows she's the only girl, but just because she's the only girl doesn't mean she's not gonna underperform. She's just gonna work her hardest all the time.
She was a reserve player for the last 2 years, this season a starter and an important player for the Hawkeyes. But again, leave it to your little sister to keep you grounded.
Sometimes she's not that good. Like, I watch her and there's a lot of other people making more tackles. She doesn't always catch the ball.
The number one question you might have, and lots of people do, you're a Division I college basketball recruit. Why play a violent sport like football, and what if you get hurt?
My thought is you can get hurt doing anything. And I think people say that, but definitely I had coaches on the phone that were like, you're really, like, this is a guys team? Like, you're on a boys varsity football team? Is that even, like, are you allowed? And it's like, well, yeah. And then it's like, okay. And then some coaches were like, I wouldn't let my girls do this. And I get that vibe all the time. Like, people think what they want to think. I don't know what to do about it. I think you can get hurt either way. And being a basketball player doesn't really have to do with anything. I'm not going to say YOLO, but, like, it's your life. Like, live it until you're done. Like, I don't want to be in a place where I would regret doing something.
So you cross your fingers, and it's just a young kid. You don't want her to get to a point in her life where she thinks, I coulda, shoulda, woulda.
I'm proud that she's confident. I'm proud that she, one of the things that we had to learn, and I'll just back, is that you always want to say, just be careful, right? And my husband's like, never say that. You say, go get them first, like be the attacker. So I think that she's been coached well by him, and I've been coached well to say, go get him. So, and she does, because she is confident.
Well, I've known, well, she's always been a rough player. When we were little playing basketball, she always like elbow me and stuff like that, like scratch me in the arms, since we were both like big kids in the co-ed gym league back in the day. So she was always like a rough, hands-on player. So it wasn't really, I was like, she wasn't meant for soccer. She was meant for football.
Julie and her basketball teammate Meaghan Perrino are part of a leadership training for athletes program, now in its 6th year at Cooperstown. It values the importance of things like helping others, leading a group, and envisioning how you want to achieve your goals. Monica Wolfe runs the program and sees what it means to people like Julie and Meaghan.
It's a really unique place in Cooperstown where there's just so much giving going on, and to see an email come in, we need help at the food pantry unloading, and Julie and Meaghan are both those student athletes who will jump on board and be the first to be on that bus to be going over to help unload the truck for the food pantry. And that appreciation from all the people that are there working, because it's nice to have that youthfulness around them helping and assisting.
You feel more like you have a purpose, like you're doing this for the town instead of for yourself. Like I feel in a bigger school it would be as a personal goal instead of a community goal.
Playing varsity football at Cooperstown is important to Julie because it's something she's always wanted to do. But it might be bigger for younger girls who come after her.
I definitely think the younger generation means a lot. Even the idea of younger girls wanting to play on the varsity team. I've talked to like a bunch of little girls who are like my mom's friend's child and my friend's child, and it's like, oh, she's the one that plays football, like whoa, and it's like, oh, like that's so cute. I don't know, I think the idea of girls playing football has changed a little bit, but kids still think the idea is it's only a guy sport. It kind of annoys me, and I like the idea. I keep saying like the idea, but community has to work together to jump over that stereotype.
I mean, I'm going to use her as an example. I mean, she's got great grades, she's got a great resume, she's got the D1 attention, but she's also, like I said, like as sensitive and articulate a kid as I've been around, and she's 6'2" and can like get the backboard on layups, no problem. So, yeah, she's a huge example for the kids, absolutely.
She absolutely is trendsetting, but I think that her response to some of the younger kids who are like, oh, I didn't know girls could play football kind of thing, is bigger than she realizes. To have young girls come up to her and say, oh, I want to be like you. And there are some kids on Pee Wee, young girls that she used to babysit, who are killing it out there on Pee Wee, so that's great.
If you haven't learned by now, Julie Ford is an extremely driven and focused person. Telling her she can't do something is like daring her to try it. And her football coach found that out real quick.
And my biggest thing with Julie is she gets mad at me when I take her out of stuff, especially in the beginning. I mean, really gets mad at me. So I don't take her out anymore. I keep her in there.
Is that because you need her or because you don't want her?
I need her and I don't want her mad at me either.
I don't even think there's words to say the kind of athlete Julie is. I mean, a girl who can play football, go D1 basketball, anything she really sets her mind to, it's just, she can do it. I believe she can do anything she sets her mind to. She's just Julie. That's how I say, like, just Julie. When people say, oh, that girl's so good, like, she's amazing, I'm like, it's Julie.
Julie's story and athletic talents are well known to people here in the tight-knit Cooperstown community, and she's truly an inspiration to a lot of people. We hope her story inspires you to say yes to the next great opportunity that comes your way. For the NYSPHSAA Captains Club, presented by the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association, I'm Chris Watson. We'll see you next time.